Okay. Good evening, everyone. Today is May 24th. It's our Hookup with Real Estate call. We're very excited to have a special guest tonight, Felix Lopez, and we'll hear about his hero's journey from fireman to professional realtor or real estate investor. Before we get started, I'm going to ask my husband, Ken, to start with a little quote. And Ken, do you want to take over?
Okay, thank you, Donna. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you will know when you find it. Steve Jobs.
Thank you, Ken. So
Madam Toastmaster.
No, stop.
Just kidding.
So just a brief background about Ken and I. We own 7 single-family homes. 6 of them are in Indianapolis, Indiana, and 1 is in New Jersey. We also own a piece of land in Pennsylvania. Probably not the smartest purchase we made, but hey, we were trying all things real estate at the time. And we are a limited partner in one of Grant Cardone's deals in Los Olas Walk in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So we've dipped our toe into the multifamily space. We're educating ourselves on commercial real estate. And that's why, oh, Marissa's here. That's why we've invited Felix here to share his journey. So I'm going to ask Felix to give us an introduction and then go into his talk. Felix.
All right. Thank you so much, Donna. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me. A little bit about myself. I was a fireman for 23 years. That was my career. Retired back in 2017. So it was nice early retirement, and that was due to an injury. Before that and during that, I was, real estate. I've been doing real estate for, close to 20 years now. Long time. I can't wait to retire from that. During all of that time, I was also a DJ, bartender, carpenter. You name it, I was doing it. Trying to make all that money. During my fireman career, back in 2015, I was in a bad accident, which has left me in a wheelchair. But I can, also walk with a walker. So I'm getting my strength slowly and slowly. It's been a while, but, the strength is coming back. It comes and goes. So hoping one day it just gets there and stays there. But, so I started, so like I said, I've been in real estate for close to 20 years, doing single families, the 4 families, some commercial, warehouses, multifamilies. I've invested in multifamilies myself. I have properties here in New Jersey, property in Pennsylvania with my son. Got him involved in all of this. My journey into multifamilies started about a year and a half ago. I was in another accident, and I wound up getting shoulder surgery. So I was, bedridden for a little while. It's not fun having shoulder surgeries when you're in a wheelchair and can't get up. But so during that time, it was either watch TV or get on a computer, do some work. So I was doing a little bit of both, and I wound up seeing some advertisement by Grant Cardone. So I'm like, so I started watching it, and I'm like, wow, who is this nut? I'm like, wow, he's more wind up than I am. I'm like, okay, this is going to be really interesting. So I started watching it, and it's like some of the stuff he was saying made sense because, for being in real estate that long, I knew what he was talking about. And I was like, all right, well, you can't be too nuts. So I was like, all right. So we had another event, and I decided to do that. I was like, let me check this event out. And then, it got more interesting, and I was learning. So I decided, let me take one of his books and read that. I did that while I was bedridden. And so I'm like, all right, so maybe he's not so nuts. So he had the real estate summit coming up, and I'm like, all right, well, let me do that. So I did that virtually. And watching him perform up there, watching him talk, listening to the people talk was got me even more interested. So I'm like, all right, well, you had this deal going on for the real estate mastermind. So I'm like, all right, well, you know what? Let me jump full in. So I both feet jumped right in, and that's what started this all off. So about you know 4 months into it, I went to the 3 months into it. Actually, he had the Growth Con. So that's where I met a lot of people from real estate, Carlos Salguero, um, Mike Bailey. Those are the main two I met while I was there. I was able to talk to Carlos, Mike, and then we had another real estate summit, and that's when I was actually, really, I brought my son with me, and I got to sit down with Mike Bailey and spoke with him, and asked him a bunch of questions since he was doing it for a year prior to me, and I told him, I'm the type of person that I would like to learn everything first before I do everything. And the words he told me were, well, if you're going to do that, then you're never going to get in. You're never going to start. He told me, just do what you have to do and get doing it. Take some action and start. He goes, you'll learn on the way. Most importantly, he's like, it's the people you meet, and if I ever had needed anything, was, just reach out to him. I said, awesome. So I'm like, all right. So I took that advice. I'm like, well, let me start, let me start running. Let me get into this. And, I spoke with Carlos Salguero, and he had a deal going, and I'm like, let me take a look into that. And, he had his deal pitch on the Wednesday calls that Grant does, which, if you haven't done them, they're amazing. You get to learn. It's so much information you have there. A lot of deals go through that deal every week. So once I did that, so I spoke with Carlos. He had a deal in Columbus, Georgia, and I'm like, okay, well, let me check this one out. And I looked at it, and I liked it. I'm like, this is great piece of property, and this was my first start. So I invested in that property, and that was the first one. It was a 48-unit townhomes in Columbus, Georgia. So I'm like, great. So that's what started me going. And then, started reading more books, doing a lot more education with Grant Cardone, and meeting a lot more people. And that's, the biggest key to all of this is networking, getting in the right rooms, meeting the right people. And, and that just helps tremendously. So, my next investment that I did after that was with Cardone. I spoke with his right hand man, Ryan. And, he told me that he has something going on that I'm really going to want to invest, as much as possible. So I said, all right. So they had that going. And so as they're doing, as they're working on that deal, I was just, taking course after course after course, educating myself more and more, doing classes at, so doing the Cardone University, learning from what he has written down for the real estate portion of it. And it just, everything was going good. And the only thing I didn't get was the underwriting. And I'm like, usually I'm great with math. I'm like, I just don't understand what I'm not getting. And for months, I just couldn't do it. But then, when I brought my son with me, he loves numbers. So he as soon as he saw it, he immediately got it. So trying to get him to explain, my youngest son explaining to me what the numbers are all about. And then one day it just hit me, and I'm like, wow, okay, now I got it. Now I have it. Now I can do underwriting in my sleep. And best thing is teaching everybody else the napkin underwriting. It's like, you don't want to dabble too far into the beginning. Get the napkin underwriting done. See if it's a deal that it's worth looking at, and then go from there. And so we started doing that. So, I did a course with Carlos Salguero, and, I learned a lot from that also. And from there, I was able to meet a bunch of people, and people that I've done that course with, we're actually in on a deal together. They found a deal in Rocky Top, Tennessee, and I was able to get on that deal with them and help them out. And that just opened the door for more. And it's the best part of all of it. It's just you're muted, Don.
You're on mute.
When you say you were getting in a deal, does that mean you're in a GP position now?
So I was in the I wanted to get in a GP position, but I wound up getting on an LP. So these guys took care of the property. But
Okay.
what I'm doing now so we're in a deal right now in Texas where I'm a GP. So we're hoping to close that within another month. We're just waiting for certain approvals, and once that gets done, we're going to be able to close. So doing all of that, it's so from year to date for the last year and a half, like I said, doing this. So I'm pretty much invested into about $100 million worth of real estate, which so about 400 doors and an office, a 260,000 square foot office building with Grant. So
Is that the Scottsdale building?
yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you know Ed, but Ed, I think, is also in the Scottsdale building.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a beautiful deal. It's supposed to double next year.
I hope so. I could use a little extra.
Yep. So it's 6% now. It's supposed to go to 12% next year. So let's cross our fingers on that one. So darn all that. So that's where I'm at now. So, and gonna be looking for more deals after that.
So in the let me see, the Texas deal where you're going to be GP, which position did you have? Are you doing capital raise and asset
was
management?
risk capital.
Oh, risk capital. Okay.
So even though we're risk capital, you're still part of the whole team, and you're still doing everything with the team. It's just you're not just putting your money in. It's so any part of the team that you're on, you're helping making decisions. You're if you have questions, you're asking the questions. You're helping with the attorneys. You're helping with the due diligence, especially the due diligence. That's the most important part. If stuff needs to be done with the lenders, management companies, accountants, CPAs, things like that. So it's just even though you have one little role in a thing, you're still taking the role of everybody of everything that's going on with the deal. So,
Okay. No, that's cool.
A lot of people ask, so Donna asked me to go over a bunch of things. So 5 things that we were going to go over. One was find a deal. People are having a hard time finding deals. I mean, there are a lot out there, but there's a lot of them where it just doesn't make sense, and people are just jumping on them because they want a deal. So it's my advice is just take your time, do it slowly, do it right, do the numbers. If the numbers make sense, then by all means go forward. If the numbers don't make sense, don't adjust it on your end to make sense where you're paying more you're paying more. It's if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Just walk away and look for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the best advice I can give you. If it, don't try and finagle the numbers, cutting away from the money you're going to make and your investors for something, that you want to get so badly, you don't care how to get it. That's not the way it works. The number one thing you want to always do is take care of your investors. You want to make sure they make money, because if they make money, they're going to want to fund you for your next deal. Places to look, you can look on, Crexy, LoopNet, those, lower ones. You have Capstone, you have Kohlers, Bracadia, Marcus Millcap. Those are some brokers you can do. At this day and age right now in the market that we're at, call the brokers. And if you see a deal, just call the broker and ask them about the deal. If they want, the first thing they're going to ask you is they want to know your experience in multifamily. Now, don't lie. That's the one thing you don't want to do. You don't lie. Don't tell them that you have all of this stuff when you don't. If you have something, let them know what you have. With my group and I that partners that I've partnered up with, A lot of things we like to do is straightforward right from the beginning before they even ask. And I sit there and say, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm invested in this many properties. I've done this, I've done that. I tell them, I've been a real estate agent for 20 years. So, I do have experience in the field and, hoping that, they get this property. The best thing you can do is speak with confidence. If you don't have it at the beginning, it's fine. But, as you go on, the more and more people you talk to, the more and more brokers you talk to, the more and more confident you're going to get in speaking with these brokers. And then you're going to just be able to spit everything out really quickly and get things rolling. And you'll find out, what questions to ask, and from there you'll get, they'll, once a broker, feels that you're confident enough to go through with this deal and things like that, they're going to give you all the information you want. The only thing you're going to be, saying is, wow, is this guy ever going to shut up? So once you get them talking, they'll give you everything you need, and which is great, which is what you want. You want to get a great relationship with the brokers. Why? Because you want them to send you stuff. So if they're confident enough to know that you're going to get things done, they're going to send you deals. Because why? They want to make money too. They want to get these things sold. They get them sold, they make money.
So is that, someone said that they always use a real estate agent for finding multifamily. So are you considering these brokers real estate agents, or are you?
Of course. I mean, we all took the same tests, that's the bottom line. So it's the same thing. It's, they're just a little bit differently on how they list it and figure out the numbers. That's the biggest. When we're doing comparisons with single family to four family, we're doing comps. This is more has to do with rental income.
NOI, yeah.
So, you're dealing with the NOIs on this one and expenses and things like that. When it comes to single family to four family, all you're doing is going, a realtor's going on there and comparing it to, the last houses that sold in the last 6 months to a year. So that's how we compare the price, and that's how we come up with the pricing. So, with the multifamily, it's different because now you got, the average rents, the expenses, cap rates. So it's a whole different entity when it comes to that. So it's, they're a little bit more experienced, and, things are done a little bit differently.
Yes, I'm questioning. So brokers generally know that you're working in partnerships, right? For commercial real estate, or
well, they're going to ask you, are you doing this on your own, or is this going to be a syndication? And they're always going to ask. In my experience, they've asked.
Okay.
Because they want to know who they're dealing with. And in my case, when they ask me, it's because I always tell them I'm an agent, especially in Jersey. I have to tell them I'm an agent. So they're like, "Oh, okay. So so what are you looking for?" I'm like, "Well, I'm looking for both. I'm looking to get paid on a deal, and I'm looking to buy it."
Right.
So it's like, yes, I'm double dipping. So it's, it's my right to do it. It's why I got the license. So, and it's true. It's, why not make money on buying something?
Absolutely.
Every penny counts. I'm going to make $25,000 on a deal. Absolutely. And a lot of times too, it's, I've been finding, one thing I found, learned is, do that in any state that I go to. Well, I can only collect commission here in New Jersey, but I'm allowed to refer it out. So when I call up a broker in another state, hey, listen, you're willing to give a referral? You're going to give out a referral fee because, I want the referral fee as I'm trying to buy this, and my partners and I, or whoever I'm teamed up with at the time, so and they're not going to say no because they want to sell it.
Right.
It's 25% of the commission is really not a lot. When you look at it, especially when you're dealing with something, 50 million, 20 million, it's still a pretty penny in their pocket. So
yeah.
no
So
problem.
this particular deal, someone else found in Texas, right?
Yeah, so one of the guys that I met during one of these mentorships,
Sorry.
guys, so they found it because they're actively looking, and they found the deal. They brought it to my attention, asked me if I wanted to be partnered on it with them, and I took a look at it real quickly and did the numbers. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I said, I'm in.
Cool.
And for one thing too, it's it's people that I trusted. I trust these guys. So that's a big plus for me. If I trust you, and I'm definitely going to look more deeply into it for to see if I want to be part of it. Do I say yes all the time? No. There's people I trust that have deals that brought to me, and I just it didn't make sense to me, and I'm like, I just numbers don't work out for me, and it's like I'm not interested, but maybe I'll find somebody who is.
Yeah. So what's your spider sense tell you about partnerships? Because we were in a couple of bad partnerships. So always curious to hear what other people think.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have people out there that have the gift of gab, you have salesmen that can sell ice to an Eskimo. So for me, it's, I've had to have spoken with you a few times. I've had to have met you a few times. I've had to have, done things with you before. If I don't trust you, I'm not going to partner with you. For me, trust is the biggest thing. And so I've been asked for people to partner up with just, people who just met me once. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's going to take a lot more than that, so. So when it comes to partnerships, it's, definitely you can do diligence, find out about the person, ask other people, have you met this person before? Ask people in your circle. If you go to these events and you go to these summits, you're going to meet the same people. So just ask them. There's plenty of Zoom calls that I'm on, and if I see the person on there, I'll ask other people that I know from the Zoom call and ask them, hey, do you know this person? Have you done anything with this person? Some people might say, hey, I think that's a shady person. And, only pops up every once in a while, or, yeah, this person's on every week. Always asking questions, has a few deals of their own, very interested. And it's like, all right, great. So it's hard to partner with the right people, but, once you find them, you'll know.
Gotcha.
A bunch of people where we just, automatically clicked, and, we haven't done deals yet, but we constantly stay in touch with each other to see what's out there. Do you have anything? I'm looking at this. Can you look at this for me? I've had people send me emails all the time with different deals and numbers. Hey, listen, can you, underwrite this real quick and see what, and let
Ask
me
for
know.
your opinion. Yeah.
Right. So let me know what you think about this property. It's like, no problem. I'll underwrite it and then go back, and if I don't know the area, I'll make phone calls to somebody who does. It's like, and I'll tell them straight out. It all depends on what the area is. If you don't know what the area is, you need to find. That's the first thing you need to find out. Find somebody who knows the area very well, and ask them about that area.
Okay.
Because even if the numbers make sense, the area might not be that great. Then you might not be able to, come up with, get those numbers that you really want. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because it is a partnership game, and it seems like, people in this circle are all over the country.
Yeah.
So it's more.
Listen, being in these groups, you hear nightmares. Oh, I gave this person my money, and they're screwing me over. It's like, well, you met the person once, and what'd you expect? You're just gonna give your money out to anybody who you meet. It's a lot of money you're giving out. So, but with this game, it's a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. But the most important thing about this is it's definitely finding people to work with. It's you don't want to do this on your own.
Yeah. I think when we started, I was way too trusting of people. I thought, oh, they they have the title of, real estate educator, almost on the level of Grant Cardone back in the day as one of our partners, and didn't really do much due diligence, had another broker. They have credentials, that must be good enough, but really it's not. You have to get to know the people.
Definitely have to get to know them.
Mhm.
Spend time with them, talk with them. Even if it's on a phone call, even if it's on a Zoom, talk to them as much as possible. And once you feel comfortable enough, and you know more about that person and their dealings, and people in his circle, his or her circle, then it gets a little bit more comfortable, and then you might feel comfortable enough to doing something with them.
Yeah,
A lot
sound
of
advice.
a lot of people getting into the game now think, oh, I can just go ask this person for money. It doesn't work that way. Everybody wants to be a syndicator, but just because you speak to one person once, do you think you're going to get money from them?
Yeah, well, you see it on the WhatsApp groups all the time. I'm investing here, I'm investing there. Once in.
Yeah, so it's. You definitely have to do your due diligence once that's happened. You're gonna have people. Once people find out you want to invest, you're gonna have everybody coming out of the woodwork and calling you. Oh, well, I got this deal, I got that deal. It's like, all right, well, what are the numbers? Well, I don't know yet. Oh, well, okay, call me when you do. It's so it's a headache, but a blessing at the same time. It's
All right.
the more and more you get sent, the more and more you get to look at, and the more and more experience you get. So, which is good. So
that's the blessing. You can pick and understand which are the good deals and which aren't. And
exactly. Yep.
That's there.
Yeah.
So I have got a question. How do you go about the financing angle on these deals when you put it together? Because especially now with the interest rates, up so high, and
well, the best thing about what's going on now with all of that is creative financing. That used to be something years ago. People would try and do creative financing, trying to get homeowners to finance the deal for you. But that's that seems to be working nowadays, and a lot of people call it sub two. Subject to. Well, is your loan assumable? That's the one thing you got to ask. Do they have an assumable loan? No. Well, the owner will be willing to do on the financing on portion of it. If we were able to raise a certain amount of money and get you this amount, will he be willing to own a finance on the rest? And nowadays, with the interest rates that gone up.
Yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, people are thinking about it, aren't they?
With the interest rates that gone up, it's like although the funny part is, if you go back 6 years ago, the interest rates were here, around this range anyway. It's so they were what, 5%, and all of a sudden they go down to 3, 2, actually close to 2, and all of a sudden they start going back up. Everybody panics. Now listen, I'm not going to buy until they go down. Why? If you can buy now and get the house for cheaper, why wouldn't you?
If only you could see through that crystal ball.
Get it cheaper. If you can get the house cheaper now, buy it now. Forget about the interest rate. That doesn't matter. Why? Because it's going to go back down eventually. And when it does, you know what you do? You refinance. Simple as that. Refinance. So is it worth buying a house now? Absolutely. Is it worth getting these properties? Absolutely. Why? Because we can refinance. But most importantly, like I said, if you can get these properties without a financing or assuming a loan, definitely go for it. Absolutely. It works not only in multifamily, it also works for single family too. Ask them, the bank that you're dealing with, is your loan assumable? Have them ask the bank. Hey, can you call your lender up and see if your loan's assumable? Or if I'm
That's
able,
right. And even if it isn't in there, still
you're kind of breaking up, Ed.
knowing they'll lose it if they don't. Oh, so even if it says it's not assumable when they wrote it, they might still want to.
Yeah. So, and banks want, banks want to get paid. That's
Yeah.
they want their money. So they'll figure something out.
That's cool. Any other questions about finding the deal right now, or before we move into risk capital a little bit more?
Yeah, so risk capital, which is my portion of the deal that we got going on now. So it's, when you find a deal, you put all your partners into place, like my other two partners did. You'll have people call you up and, listen, we have this deal, here are the numbers. And it's just like, investors, they're going to pitch you the deal. And, we think, and you ask the same questions, as you would the broker. What do you think of the deal? What do you like about it? What do you hate about it? How did you come up with the numbers? And they'll explain everything to you. And it's, again, even though you trust the people, you still have to do your own due diligence. You got to make sure it's good for you. Just because, you like people and you love the people, and it's, you don't want to jump right in, you want to be able to take a look at it. And if it makes sense to you, then bam, go on, get in there. Absolutely. The more deals, the better. Yeah.
So are you the only person doing risk capital on that deal, or are there a few of you?
It's only me.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard that you can split it in some
Yes.
cases.
Yeah, everybody can put money in. Absolutely. So, all the partners can, put all money in, and, everybody becomes risk capital. Or, you do it different way. There's plenty of ways of doing it, figuring it out. So and that's the only way, so if you have, friends with money, get on the phone with them. Yeah.
There you go.
So,
And
hey,
the other
could-
thing
could-
they said
could-
about
could
risk
you-
capital is oh, sorry, one sec. You can either pull it out at the close, or you can stay in as an LP. So you're both GP LP. So do you
right,
have
which you wanted to, you definitely want to negotiate that at the beginning.
tell us more
hey,
about that.
You're going to be risk capital, for me, if I'm going to, do anything with a deal, if I'm going to put money on a deal just to risk, I'm going to go all in and definitely collect on the back end of it too. Why, you're going to, you collect the GP and the LP. Well, absolutely.
Yeah,
It just makes sense.
that's right.
So
Now, does your deal have the additional fees, like 2% for acquisition and 2% for asset management and
Yep.
percent for refi or close or sell? I mean,
yes, so it has all of that. We're assuming a loan, so we have to pay, we have to pay a point for that. So, you always have the penalty for assumable loans. So you got to pay for that. Yeah, asset manager, absolutely. So definitely have to pay for that. And yeah, so yes, it has the regular fees attached to it.
okay. So like, I mean, putting up risk capital is risky, obviously, because, if the deal doesn't close, you could potentially lose that money. So what gave you the confidence to be able to say that this deal is going to be good enough to close?
The guy's working on it.
Oh, okay.
Period. That's bottom line. The guys that are working on the deal. That's what
Okay.
gave me the confidence to say I'm in.
All right. So they had some experience and yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I was able to do other things with them, and did a mastermind with them, and I got to know them, and I got to know them very closely, and then now I consider them family, and it's absolutely, if they bring me something, yeah, absolutely, But again, you do your due diligence to make sure if it works for you,
That's
so.
right. Well, I also heard that EMD, which is earnest money deposit, which is the same as risk capital, is the fastest way to getting wealth, because you have the two sides of the coin that you can participate in, the GP and the LP.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. So if it's the 80-20 split, you're getting as an LP, you're getting your 80%. So whatever money you put into it, you put 100,000 in. If it's 2x at the end, you're getting 200,000 back. So it's
Yeah.
it's great. And as a GP, you're getting that that 20%. So you're getting a portion of that 20% depending upon your role in the management. So yeah,
Right.
the more money you can get out of the deal, the better.
There you go.
By all means, yeah. And then, after that, you get into, once you have the deal, you get the property manager, but you also have to have the asset manager. So a lot of people think just because they live in the area, they can do the job. That's not the way it works. There's a lot more that goes into asset management than just being boots on the ground. You got to know your numbers. You got to know the property. You got to know the area. You got to be, willing to get to the property, in a moment's notice. You have to, go over the leases, make sure everything's up to par. You have to keep an eye on a property manager. Just because you hire a property manager doesn't mean that all the problems go away. A lot of times it's the property manager that's the problem. If you don't keep an eye on them, they're gonna, do whatever it is they want to do. And a lot of these prep properties you buy, the first thing that the tenants say that's wrong with the property is property management. I got to make 17 phone calls just to get my faucet fixed.
Oh, wow.
I got, I've had a leak in the house for, 2 months now. They still haven't fixed it. I got a big hole in the wall, that they haven't fixed. Your electricity, and that's all on a management company. So if nobody's keeping an eye on them, they're going to just do whatever they want, so you got to, keep all the books in order, find, keep a tight niche on their spending. And then this is all, asset management team. So it's very important to have. It's very important to do. Most important thing about that is, making sure everything's documented. You gotta get your Excel sheets out, do your Excel sheets and write all the numbers down, write everything down of what's going on.
So do you use special templates or tools for asset management, or you're not?
I mean, everybody has their own thing. I mean, you can just whip up an Excel sheet and put everything in there depending upon what the property needs.
Okay.
You just put in there, one Excel sheet, you'll be all the numbers, all the leases. So you put all the, you can have all the names of the tenants, all of that stuff. Another Excel sheet can be, just expenses. Another Excel sheet can be, repairs. Another Excel sheet can be, stuff like, what's being done on a monthly basis, trash, things like that, water bills. So all the bills, and you want to keep all of that in order. You want to keep it constant every month. So this way, everything's in order when it's need to look at it. So,
Okay.
and for me, it's, if you have, you want to keep everything in order because you want to compare your numbers to what the property management is. So, and if something's off, you want to know why. Why do I have this and you have this?
That's a good point. You have to keep your own numbers separate from property manager numbers so that you can validate them.
I mean, I tried buying deals where the owner had no idea what's going on, and he wants me to put an LOI in without looking at any of the financials. How do you expect me to do that when you don't have anything? Oh, the property management company didn't keep the books right. All right, well, you got to have receipts and stuff like that. So show me the receipts, show me your bank accounts, show me what people have been paying, and a lot of them don't want to do it. I'll put an LOI in first. How do you expect me to put an LOI in if I don't have the numbers?
Yeah.
You're asking.
What do I have stupid written across my forehead?
You're asking 15 million. You want me to put an LOI in?
Yeah.
No problem. I'm going to put an LOI in. It's going to be for $5 million. I know you want 15, but since I don't have the numbers, this property is only worth $5 million to me.
Yeah, right.
You want me to waste your time because you're wasting mine? Sure, no problem. I will put in the lowest bid possible.
Oh.
You call me a big a-hole at the end of the day. It's like, I don't care. You're just wasting my time. So why am I going to take this serious?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't have, don't waste my time. I won't waste yours. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the question is like, how satisfied do you want all the tenants to be in asset management? Because like, are they just being picky, or you just deal with the bigger problems, or?
I mean, it all depends on who it is. It's you're always going to have that one tenant that just wants to make the phone call all the time. Now, being a real estate, you always nip in the bud. How many leases have you written up? And it's like, sure, the first $100 on you. Anything breaks in the apartment, you got to pay the first $100. After that, we'll take care of it. Now, once you do something like that, it's guess what? People tend to take care of things a lot better.
It's a deterrent, sure.
Once they find out that they got to pay for stuff, they're going to make sure that, it lasts longer. But also, of course, you sit there and say, if it just breaks down because it just broke down, then, that's a different story. But
Yeah.
you break it, you got to pay for it.
Good.
So,
I like that.
we use that on anything that we, my son and I lease up. So, like I said, I got my son into all of this, and he's buying up properties. And just like you guys, he's got a property in PA.
Okay.
Just finished closing on a 2-family house here in Kearney.
Hmm.
So,
Where in PA? Just curious.
Albrightsville?
Not that familiar. No, we're in.
Big Boulder, I think it is. Something
Oh,
like that.
near Big Boulder, yeah. We're in Hazleton. It's a little
It's
further.
right between a lake and the mountain, so it's an all-year rental. So
That's nice. Yeah.
his first year he made what, 35,000. He got it back in April.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So he made money out of it. So that's that's the best part.
That's a good deal. So Ken, I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you. You had a question?
No, it's all been answered.
Oh.
He went pretty heavy into what he was, what I was going to ask. So,
Yeah, like my buddy Oscar said, once I start going, I just I'll just start blurring everything out.
Now, one question I did have: when you say you risk capital, so you orchestrate the risk capital, you basically, or is that you're providing the risk capital?
I am providing it out of my own money.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, it's if you have other people who but it's anybody who's you're going to risk. It's not like raising funds for the deal. It's you got to get the one person or two, or like I said, or like Donna said, the whole entire team kicks in.
Yeah, gotcha.
It depends on the situation. Every situation is different, so you might have some deals where everybody put money in for it, and you might other deals where it's just like here where only one person put into it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So make sure you want to do it, and you make sure you trust the guys that you're working with.
So Ken, risk capital is everything before the closing. So all the inspections, the accountants, the attorneys, whatever you have to pay for due diligence.
Yep. Yeah. And all of that. Yep.
So that gets covered by one or more people in exchange for a percentage of the deal.
So you definitely know that it's got to be a good deal before you're going to do that. Yes, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. So yep. So you got the numbers. Look at the numbers. And like I said, whatever you need, that they're going to provide it for you. So even when you're raising capital, whatever you need, they're going to give you the information.
Okay.
So that goes right into the next thing, raising capital. It's not easy to do. Yeah. But you want to raise capital, you got to get yourself out there. You got to get known, because just like the deals, nobody's going to go on a deal with you if they don't know you. Same thing with raising capital. Nobody's going to give you money if they don't know you. I get phone calls. I get about 10 phone calls a day of people call me up that to go on deals, and it's like, who the hell are you? I say, I don't know who the hell you. Where the hell did you get my number from? Oh, I got it from the group, in the WhatsApp group. I was like, well, if you're in a WhatsApp group, why don't you just say hi to me or something like that? Get to know me first, but until I know you, I'm not going to send you money,
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. But it's, there's plenty of Zoom calls. There's plenty of events. My suggestion, go to the events, meet the people that's there.
Yeah.
You're going to meet a lot of heavy hitters. I was in a room at one time. It was, it had to be at least on, about $60 billion worth of money in that room.
You're pinching yourself, like, what am I doing here?
I'm the guy that's very, very low on that totem pole. I'm like, holy shit. You know what? The best part was, talking to these people, and they're very humble. They will talk to you all day long. And that's the best thing. What's the difference between a billionaire and a millionaire? A millionaire will act like a billionaire. A billionaire, they'll think they don't have enough. They'll keep working on doing more. So, yeah.
That's why I like to get on Grant's calls. I'm like, hey, I'm on a call with a billionaire.
That's it, And I
Yeah.
love it. But yeah, when you're raising capital, it's it's about the people you know. It's you got to get yourself out there, got to get people to know you, and once they know and trust you, and you got something good, they're gonna do their due diligence, and if they like the deal, then yeah, they'll give you money.
So how much do you feel like you have to know and understand the deal before you go and ask somebody for the deal, for money? Sorry.
Well, first of all, you better be on the deal from the beginning. So do the due diligence. So if that's done, you're constantly, like with me and the team my team right now, we're on a daily call. We're going, through things daily. Even though some days we don't have anything, it's just a repeat of the day before. We're still doing a call. So if something comes up, we're getting questions answered. So and that's the most important part.
Yeah. And you can plan for the next day or whatever.
Yeah, your plan. So if you have questions, just all right. Well, we got a call coming up tomorrow, so I know I'm gonna get my question answered. So, but yeah,
So any tips? I mean, have you tried raising capital yourself?
I have, and it's like I always say it's hard. I always said I'm not a capital raiser. That I'm definitely not. Even though I do know a lot of people, it's I can ask anybody anything. One problem I always have is asking people for money, unless it's the deal. But I'll still ask. I'm getting more comfortable with it, and we're trying to raise capital for this deal now, and I have a few people interested, so just waiting on phone calls for that. So it's just it's done.
Are they doing it as a 506C or B? B for both.
It's a B.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
And what's the minimum raise?
50,000, but it's if it needs to be lower, or all that's needed is a phone call. We'll be more than happy to take 25,000 for it.
I'll be more than happy. I love that.
But absolutely, if anybody's interested, or you might know somebody's interested, have them get on a phone call with me. Get them to know me. I'll have them get on a call with myself and the team. And they'll definitely, if they love me, they'll definitely love the team.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So,
all right. Anything else about
capital
raising?
No, that's that's capital raising is just, like I said, is getting yourself out there, contacting people, get your friends, get your family, hey, listen, you guys want to invest in real estate? You guys want to save on taxes? You guys are tired of paying all these taxes? Well, get into real estate. Why wouldn't you want to do it? If you got a small deal, it's, hey, listen, get your family together, put a little money up together, form an LLC, put it into the thing. This way, all the money that comes out of it goes directly into the LLC account. And, like I said, you benefit from the taxes on it. It all depends on what, where your tax roll is at now. But, you want to learn more about it, just contact your accountant. They'll tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of benefits from it. So, and at the
like
end
a lot of people hear real estate and they're like, oh, I'm not going to be, I don't want to clean toilets and deal with tenants. And
well, that's it. Yeah. Everybody's thought years ago was, in order to get into multifamily, you had to be rich.
Yeah.
You had to have all this money in order to get into it. And, now the game's changed. Now it's a big difference. It's not like it used to be. It's like, I wish we were doing this when we all started back then, it's
that's right.
Yeah. Things would have definitely been a lot different, but things today it's are a lot more available to everyone than ever before. So everybody should be taking advantage of it. Do you put your money all into real estate? No. There's plenty of other stuff out there. you're gonna make money in stock market. You know, diversify your finances, get it all out there. Don't keep your money in one spot. You know, that's my belief. You know, and I speak to a lot of people and they think the same way. It's, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, I've been on Zoom calls where, oh, you don't want to be on the stock market. Why not? Why wouldn't you? If you know how to play the stock market, by all means, get on there. You know, I was talking to somebody, you know, who made 30,000 in 1 week in the stock market. So hey, you telling me the stock market's bad? You know, you know.
Yeah, for the ill-informed, yes, but maybe not for the informed or the lucky. Yeah.
Talk to your financial advisors, because you know what? They're gonna, you know, they're gonna tell you where to put the money, and you know, and ask the questions. You know, it's, you know, where should I put it? Why? How much am I gonna get out of it? You know, or what's the projected return on it? You know, real estate's not the only game in town, so it's, you know, definitely put it out there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like one of the things that I, you know, try to tell people is that you can't look at multifamily as a 1 year over another, really. You have to look at it the life of the deal.
Correct.
Because you have the potential to get your money back and then have infinite returns.
Right. So, you know, you have deals where they're going to go either 5 years, 10 years. You know, the most I've seen is 10 years. The least minimum amount I've seen is maybe 2 years. And usually that's on like a new build or something like that. You know, so it all depends on what the person's willing to do. You know, do you want to wait on a new build? You know, for me, it's too risky, so I wouldn't do new builds. Other people love them, you know, so it's, you know, it's whatever the person enjoys, whatever the person's, you know, willing to go in on, you know, by all means, then do it. But, you know, for me, it's, you know, I have plenty of stock. I have, well, you know, I put it everywhere. It's, you know, it's real estate stock, you know, wherever I can put my money, I'm going to put it, you know. At one point I had what, 5 different bank accounts. You know, I don't.
Now you have 5 different LLCs, probably.
Pretty much. So it's, so, you know, it all depends on what you do. You have to do what makes you comfortable. You know, you know, some people want to do, you know, 400 units or more. You know, it's like everybody's, go big, you know, go bigger or go bigger. For me, it's like, you know what? If I can't find that big deal, I'm willing to do 5 small ones. I got no problem with that. You know, give me the 5 small ones. So I'm getting paid today and not wait until tomorrow. You know, so which is great. You know, I'm on one deal alone. I'm getting, you know, $3,000 a month on one deal.
That's
Can't
awesome.
forget about that. So it's, you know, and you know, that's passive income. With the K1s, I get to write off a shitload of real estate. You know, this next coming year, I'm not gonna any.
I don't know if I'm gonna get it. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother
Hold on, we gotta
arena. You're
mute
stepping into
somebody.
like.
There you go, Mr.
Thank you.
Hook, Mike. So, yeah, what was I forgot? So,
Yeah, putting money up for the deals that make sense.
yeah,
Small
so-
deals, 5
right,
small
right,
deals
uh,
versus 1 large deal.
and like I said, I tell everybody, it's like, listen, you know, you got small deals, I'll do small deals all day long. Absolutely. You know why? Because those small deals are going to put money in my pocket too. You know?
Yeah. And what are you considering a small deal?
You know, anything over 30 units. You know, like 30 to 50 units is small, you know, or 30 to 100, I should say.
Okay,
So,
that's great.
you know, and know your areas and things like that. You know, I'm trying to do a deal now in New Jersey because, you know, I'm starting to know more and more people in New Jersey. And, you know, why wouldn't we want to do a deal in our own hometown, you know? So it's, you know, so, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, it's not a landlord friendly state. Yeah, that's great too. But, you know, you're having me and part of my team doing the deal. So when I say myself and my team, it's you have professional real estate agents who know the game. And, you know, are you going to get 100% of everybody going to be perfect? No. You know, you're always going to have a few that slip, but there's always ways to get them out. So, but, you know, it's, you know,
Or they'll leave in the middle of the night, as we've had.
yeah. But, you know, you get, you know, you get to learn the tricks of the trade. You know, you get to learn who's good and who's not. You know, but you know, in my career, I've done a shitload of rentals for people, and the best thing is we have a site set up to where here you go on this site, fill it out, download all your credentials, your last 3-page stubs, your last 2 years of taxes, all the information we need, and it does a background check on them also. So we're getting all the information right there. So it's so that's half the battle there, and then and then
So it's automated mostly, and
so
it's not you rejecting, the system is rejecting.
This is telling me, you haven't paid rent in 17 years. So it's, you've been kicked out of this place, that place, why would I want you as a tenant, but as an agent, it's a little harder for me because I can't be biased to anybody. Because if I kick one person out for one reason, then I can't let anybody else in for that reason. So that's the thing with that. So it's just, for me, it's a little tricky. It's, I gotta pass that on to somebody else and let them kick them.
That's what you have a team for.
Yeah. And then, also with the deals, it's, you're also getting into, sponsorship. So whenever you get a deal and you're getting a loan on it, the banks want to see somebody who is responsible for that deal, which means somebody who's been doing real estate, who has real estate as GP, and who has signed on loans before, so it's
that's the loan balance guarantor, or the key principal, right?
Yeah. And if you get that person, then if that person willing to jump on right away, then it's a good deal, because nobody's going to sign their name to something that they don't believe in.
That's
another way of looking, and that's another way you got to look at it. And if you got a sponsor for a deal, it's well, he's got to be willing to sign it for some reason. But again, it's even though that guy thinks it's great, it might not work for you. So it's so it's, again, do you due diligence? You might not like the building, you might not like the area, heck, you might not like the people that were renting. So it's so it's it's up to you. But like I said, you have the sponsor, you have the risk capital, and you got to look at the team.
Yeah.
If that, if they all come together, great. Then it's why wouldn't you want to invest? So.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So, what is your end goal, like, after this property in Texas? How many more?
I'm looking at more. Like I said, I'm looking at one here in New Jersey, 36 units, brand new build, Class A, 14 million.
Near us or somewhere else?
It's little South Jersey.
Oh, cool.
About 40 minutes away, so it's not too bad. Brand new build, I'll take those all day. But
yeah. But they say that even the brand new build, like, you have to, like Los Olos Walk, Grant's deal there. He said, you gotta get people settled in, and then in time you can add value by raising the rent.
And that's the thing. And right now, like I said, there's absolutely nobody renting in the place right now. So it's, you got to stabilize the property first. So, do you buy it with and stabilize it yourself, or do you make a deal and stabilize as you go before you purchase it? In my opinion would be, you don't want to purchase it without having people in it. So you want to get it to at least 90-95% occupied. And then you want to take over. So, you do a stabilization process where you're involved in it. You definitely want to be involved, because you don't want to tell an owner, say, yeah, fill it up to 90% and give me a call back. What is he going to do? He's going to fill it up with every riffraff he can find. Sure, just, here, sign here. You have 6 months free rent. Don't worry about it. When a new owner comes in, then you can deal with him. So,
yeah.
So you definitely want to be, involved in a process, which, to me is the most important thing, is you want to be able to see who's coming in, and you want to be able to look at other, the leases, make sure the leases are proper. You want to make sure the amount's proper and all of that. Make sure they're not, giving the property away to these new tenants just to get, just to fill it up. And also you want to make sure that they're, the right tenants for that property. So.
Yeah, it's Class A, definitely.
Definitely. No, but yeah, my main goal is, within the next 5 years is 1,000 units. So hopefully I can do that in 2.
Oh, we got our fingers crossed for you. We'll be watching you. leading the way for us.
The best part about doing all of this is, once you get investing, once you get going, and once you start, you're definitely not going to want to stop. And it's all about that passive income. It's, the freedom to do what you want to do. You have money coming in every month or every quarter, depending on a deal. Most of the deals are going to be quarter, you're going to get a check every quarter, but you get that check coming in, and now you can go out and do whatever it is you want to do. Take the vacation here, take the vacation there. Who wants to work till they're 65, working their butt off? It's, and now you can retire at 65 and do what? You're going to travel at 65, 85, 95. You got to wait all that time to enjoy your life. Enjoy it now, man. Invest, get the returns, get the benefits of it, and enjoy yourself. Like I said, when you're doing this stuff, surround yourself with the people who have the same goals, who have the same insight, who are, surround yourself with the people who are thinking alike. Because being in real estate, you're going to lose a lot of friends. Because for one, everybody's going to think you're nuts. What are you doing that for? You're going to lose so much money. Are you crazy? Are you that? So, when you start telling people your dreams, what's the first thing they do? It's, they knock you down,
Put a pin in it.
Yeah. And that's when you say, bye-bye. Yeah. Okay. See you later. So it's, but this is the thing. And like I said, that's the best part of going to the events. You'll meet people who are like-minded, and that's when you get to know them. And that's where, everything will start taking off for you,
Yeah.
If I could leave you with anything, it's, take action. The more you sit on the sideline and do nothing, the more nothing's going to happen. So it's either, you start taking action now, or you're never going to take action later.
So what would be the first action? Is educating yourself would be the first action.
Take that money, educate yourself, buy the books, get to the Zoom calls, find the right place to, learn the process. Like I said, I did the Cardone. I did the Carlos Salguero. Next week, I'm going to Dallas to hang out with Michael Blank.
Oh, nice.
Whatever, Blank or Blanc. I don't know what the hell they call him nowadays. But yeah, so I'm going there for a 3-day real estate summit, to learn more. It's you're always going to learn something new. Like I said, I've been in real estate 20 years, and I'm still learning more stuff. So it's, you're going to constantly learn in this business, and the more you learn, the better it is. And, when you hook up with the right team, you're going to learn even more. It's like, during this whole process with the Texas deal, I'm learning, a shitload of stuff from the team, It's just, like I said, once you think, it's something new coming in, and it's just great, and, from these events, I've met, some amazing people who I can't wait to do deals with, and, I'm still waiting, and we'll, like I said, one of these days I will do deals with everybody that I enjoy being around. So that I can't wait for.
That's awesome.
I got one question for you. How do you overcome the initial fear of doing this and losing what you've worked so hard to save for?
Oh, yeah, that was the biggest thing. It's like, all right, now I got all this.
Because that's what I'm
the bank. Why the hell do I want to get rid of it? Yeah, that was my initial fear. But it's like, you sit back, you think, the hell is this money doing for me in the bank? It's not doing anything. And somebody said the best. It's if it scares the shit out of you, then you might be you're doing something right.
Yeah. Because the thing that Don and I always go back and forth about is, we're getting close to retirement age. So it's like, do we want to take all our money and put it, what kind of return would we get by doing this? That's my biggest fear. So is that,
so if you're getting a 7%, cash on cash return annually, and you put 100,000 in, so that's 7,000 for the year you're getting, right? And you break that up to 4, so you got quarter payments. That's just 100. That's on just one deal right there. So depending upon how many deals you put in, that's what you're gonna get. But here's the thing: it's how much are you getting for that money to be sitting in the bank?
Yeah, but can't you, like, when you get to the retirement age, can't you draw on that, or because once you lock it up in real estate, you can't actually draw on it, right? You're
No,
getting the income from it, but you
You
can
gotta
never
make-
actually
you can't
the
take it out.
cash.
No, you can't take the cash. But it all depends on what the deal is. So it's
Mhm.
some deals, like you get a deal today. Who knows what the market's going to be like in 3 years? If the rates drastically go down, guess what everybody's going to be doing?
Refi.
Everybody's going to be refinancing like crazy. And when they refi, you know what happens to you? You get that big money, but you get all that money back, and you're still in a
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
So why, absolutely, where else are you going to double your money like that?
Mm.
Where else you you play the stock more, that's why you get a financial advisor. You let them teach you, where you can put your money in as tax benefits, where you can put your money in where later on you can actually get it, get something back out of it, So that, but with real estate, it's, you have your tax benefits. So that's one thing you're not worried. Especially if you have the, a business on the side, it's going to offset your business where, how much taxes did you pay this year? Next year, when you offset it with more real estate, you're not going to be paying anything. Now, how'd you like to start getting money back?
Yeah.
Let's start doing that again, So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of benefits with it. So it's, my initial, it was the same thing. It's like, shit, I got to give somebody who, I spoke to 7 times who, in less than a year, money. And
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned
I gotta
about.
make sure this is, I'm gonna get something back, and it's just, it's definitely a matter of trust.
Yeah, because we were screwed
gotta
before,
trust.
so
Yes,
that's
and,
the main thing I'm concerned about.
Yeah,
matter of trust. So it's,
but you have to know the numbers too. You have to be able to do the due diligence.
and that's all the question.
yourself.
Listen, if you want to see the financials, ask for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can I
So
see?
you-
Can I see the rentals? Can I see the? Can I see the expense sheets? Can I see the P&L? Can I see everything? Give me the T12s and let me take a look at them. If they tell you no, all right, see you later.
yeah. There's
They,
plenty of people who will, right?
they're asking you,
Yeah,
asking you for money. You're not asking them for money.
yeah.
Ask whatever you need to ask. And get all the facts, get everything out. But like I said, most importantly, it's about trust. It's about trusting the people you're doing business with. What do they say? Don't do business with close friends and family. But
Yeah. Like I went to the real estate summits, but Ken hasn't been to them. So, he doesn't know that circle there.
Especially when you have been screwed before, it's going to scare the shit out of you to do anything else.
Yeah.
It's, it's lesson, hopefully you learned something from it and you use that for everything else.
Yeah.
And the trust, the deal, where it was, you'll learn from that. So I'm not going to do anything down there because that's a bad area. The person didn't know what they were doing. Talk to the team, and just don't talk to the one person. If you're talking to somebody about a multifamily deal, there's a team involved. I want to talk to everybody. I want to see who's involved, who's this, who's that, who you have as a sponsor, who's doing the risk capital. Is it everybody's just one person? Who's going to be the boots on the ground? Which one of you guys is going to be the asset manager? What experience do you have with that? We have a great guy as an asset manager. Why? Because he's been in construction for many, many years. And he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he was doing. So do I trust him to do that? Absolutely. 100%. What better way of having somebody to take a look at the property that knows, everything about the property.
Yeah. And even if like with Ken being tile, but he's more residential, it's very different on the commercial side too, from what I gather.
It's a huge difference, with the commercial side of everything. But listen, it's you're going to get more benefits out of it than doing single family. It's full family. It's tax benefits alone are tremendous on it. And
well, the thing is, like we look at our single family, and with the tax going up, with the insurance going up, it's like there's going to come a point not too far out where it's almost not worth it to keep the properties.
Right.
You're not getting cash flow.
You're making $500, a month on a deal where it's killing you because you got to be there every day. You know,
Yeah.
are you really making a $500 profit, or is that money going towards gas, new vehicle, you know, what you have
Yeah.
to get there, you know?
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
with the
you
multifamily,
save up a reserve and then something happens, a vacancy, and it all goes. It's like this.
and it's right out the roof, you know, and that's what, the best,
Yeah.
the best benefit of multifamily is, because if one person, 38 units, you have one person move out, you still have 37 rents coming in.
That's right.
And if you have the proper management in place and you have the proper asset management in place, that empty apartment building, when they move out, it's going to get filled up pretty quickly. Because my biggest thing is, get the place to where people want to be there. If you can do
Yeah.
that, and what was that? The Field of Dreams, right? Build it and they will come. Yeah.
As long as the jobs are moving in.
Yeah, so that's it.
So are you doing any CapEx work on the property, or are they gonna
Yes,
do
we
it?
are. We're gonna be doing CapEx work. We're gonna, as they move out, we're gonna be fixing up units. We have I believe 4 or 5 units that are free right now. So we're gonna just, instead of renting them out, those are gonna be the first ones that get renovated.
Oh,
And
okay.
then we're gonna give the tenants first option. Do you want to move into the the bigger one, the one that's just got redone, or we're just gonna raise your rent. Nah, so we'll give the first option to go into a newer apartment. So, which everybody always loves a newer apartment. So
Sure.
give them ultimatums.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
What other goal do you have for us? Anything else you want to share?
I mean, listen, it's the best thing you do with this is share it. I love that you guys are doing this together, which is great, and I love that. Anybody who has a significant other, I would definitely try and get them on board. It's just a great thing. It's but if you're involved in a relationship and you're doing this, definitely share everything you can with the other person. Because you want to be able to be on the same page, and I'm taking 100,000 out. See you later. But teach everybody you can. I'm getting my kids into this. Like I said, I have my son Matthew, who's buying up properties now, and then I have my youngest son Felix, the older son Felix Jr., who's coming to Dallas with me next week, because now he wants to learn. He's great with numbers, so I'm like, perfect. He can do all the underwriting possible. He's great at making Excel sheets, so he can do all of that stuff. I'm like, here you go. I'll just make the phone calls and I'll send the money.
We have to convince our younger one to do that. She's got a master's in financial economics, so I think she could do some spreadsheets for us.
She'll be perfect for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I was just thinking about that as he was saying his son likes the numbers, and our daughter's does that. It's like maybe we should be.
Our daughter will
picking
be
her
like, "Why are you
brain."
making me do work for you?"
Listen, the whole reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to work anymore. And I'm at the point where I'm really not. The only thing I'm really doing right now is real estate. That's it. I'm on phone calls every day. I'm on Zoom calls every day, and and the great thing is when I check my bank account, there's money come rolling in.
You're managing your assets, is what you're doing, right?
And that's the best part. It's money rolling in, and I'm doing what my kids do that for me now. It's they laugh because it's like, Dad, you're in a wheelchair and you're traveling more now than you ever did before. So it's great. It's I don't let anything stop me from doing whatever I need to do. When I got into the accident, I was in a hospital laying there. I thought, shit, what the hell's gonna happen now? One day towards the end when I was in the hospital, I broke down, and I let it all out. Thank God there was somebody there. It was one of the psychiatrists from the hospital. She was actually walking by when I had my breakdown, and we sat there for a good 2 hours talking. And that was the last time. I was like, you know what? I'm never going to let this happen to me again. I said, I got, the whole world's there for me. And, I'm not going to let this injury get me down. And I've made more money down now than I ever have in my life. So it's, And I'm just, I was going to say
Yeah.
moving forward. I'm going to make everybody laugh and say I'm rolling forward.
That's funny. Yeah. So you probably had to go through a grief process in a way, you know.
Well, listen, most important thing you can do on this is, if you think you're not ready, you work on yourself. Most important thing is, work on yourself, get yourself to the point where, everything else will come into play. Surround yourself with people that, like I said, are in the same mindset. One of my favorite quotes is, surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when you enter the room. Slow is the fastest way to get there. And the top of every mountain is the bottom of the next. So keep climbing.
Love those quotes.
So, and with that, that's what I'm going to keep doing. So, every little piece of property I conquer, I'm going to go on to the next bigger and better one. So, and, everybody, you have that biggest saying that since we were kids, it's lonely at the top, right? You ever hear that? It's lonely.
Yeah.
It's lonely at the top because they didn't bring everybody with them. I plan on bringing everybody with me. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're going to have to meet in person one day soon.
Absolutely. Especially since we're so close.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll have to work on that. So does anyone have any questions, comments, feedbacks for Felix? This was just really wonderful. So you're saying it's about 2 years and you've ended up with all those doors?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, close to $100 million worth of real estate that I'm invested in.
And you probably put out in education, what about 30, 40 grand?
Education alone, I spent about 150,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but look where you're headed. So
Now, did you do that as you cumulative?
I've been doing that, for the last year and a half. I've been, I mean, longer than that, so I mean, listen, if it wasn't for my current boss in real estate, my broker Alex and his wife, who the hell knows where I probably would be nowhere near real estate. They're the ones who, convinced me to move into their office and work with them. And, that's the only reason why I stayed with real estate was because of them. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have done real estate and I wouldn't be doing it now.
wow.
So
Well, you never know how things are going to turn out, right? But in hindsight, that was a great move.
yeah, so I'm definitely grateful for. But thank you everyone for coming and much appreciated.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Felix. Really appreciate your time. It was wonderful to hear your story and to learn from you. And, again, we'll figure out how to be in touch in person somehow.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording now.